Look at your hand, right now. Really look at it. How do you know it's yours? Not that it's attached, not that you can move it. How do you know it belongs to you? Because that feeling, mine, is not as simple as it seems. Your brain builds it, quietly, automatically, every second. And if that process slips, even briefly, your own hand can feel strangely distant. Not numb, not weak, just not fully you. That sounds impossible, until you see how easily the brain can be pushed. Imagine this. Your real hand is hidden. A fake hand is placed in front of you. A brush touches the fake hand, while another brush touches your real hand in exactly the same way. Same rhythm, same place, same timing. At first, you know the fake hand is fake. Of course you do. But after a while, something shifts. Because your brain is solving a problem. I see touch there. I feel touch here. And the timing matches. So the simplest answer becomes, these signals belong to one hand. And the hand I can see starts to feel like mine. This is the rubber hand illusion. And what makes it famous is not that it fools your eyes. It fools ownership. People start reacting when the fake hand is threatened, even while knowing it isn't real. That split is the important part. Your conscious mind can know one thing, while your body model starts updating underneath it. So what is the brain actually doing? It's combining signals: vision, touch, body position, movement, and prediction. Most of the time, all of those signals agree, so ownership feels effortless. But when the signals line up in a strange new way, the brain can adopt something unexpected. And when they stop lining up, ownership can weaken. That means body ownership is not a permanent fact. It is a live construction. One of the most important pieces here is proprioception. This is your internal sense of where your body is, even with your eyes closed. It's how you can lift your hand in the dark and still know where it is. It's how your body stays mapped from the inside. But proprioception is not perfect. Vision can bias it. In the rubber hand illusion, people often start misjudging where their real hand actually is. Their felt hand begins drifting toward the fake one. That detail matters, because now the brain is not just saying, that fake hand seems relevant. It is actually recalculating body position. That is a remarkable thing. A fake hand, a few brushes, a little synchrony, and the body map starts to move. But the brain is not stupid. It has rules. If the fake hand is too far away, the effect weakens. If the timing is off, the effect weakens. If the hand is turned in an impossible direction, the effect weakens. So the brain is flexible, but not careless. It wants coherence, and it wants plausibility. That tells us something important about normal life. Your sense of self is stable, not because the brain never updates, but because it updates carefully. Now do a small test with me. Put your hand on the table. Leave it still. Look at it for a few seconds, and notice something unusual. The feeling of mine does not come from the hand itself. It comes from the brain's interpretation of that hand. Now slowly move one finger, and notice how immediate that movement feels. That immediacy is part of ownership, but it also belongs to something related: agency. Agency is the feeling that I am causing this. Ownership is the feeling that this body part is mine. Usually those feelings arrive together, but they are not the same. And once they separate, the whole picture becomes much stranger. When you move, your brain doesn't wait passively for sensation. It predicts what should happen next. It sends the movement, and prepares for the result. If what you see and feel matches that prediction, everything feels normal. If it doesn't, the system hesitates. That is why lag feels so disturbing in virtual reality, or even on a bad video call. You move, but the world answers too late, and instantly, something feels wrong. Not because you forgot reality, but because prediction and sensation stopped matching. In rare neurological cases, that split becomes dramatic. There is a condition known as alien hand phenomenon. A person's hand can reach, grab, or interfere while feeling strangely uninvited. The hand is still theirs, biologically, physically, but the action does not feel fully authored by them, and that is deeply unsettling, because now ownership and control are no longer moving together. The body is present, the action is real, but the feeling of me is unstable. And when that happens, the mind tries to explain it. It creates distance, otherness, a story. That response is revealing, because it shows that the self is not only sensed, it is also interpreted. Now move to the opposite kind of case. Sometimes a limb is gone, and yet it is still felt. This happens with phantom limbs. A person can lose a hand and still feel fingers, posture, itching, even pain, not as memory, as presence. That sounds impossible, until you realize the brain's body map does not disappear overnight. The model can stay active. The prediction can stay active. The expected body can outlive the physical one. And that tells us something crucial. Ownership does not only rise from the body upward, it also comes from the brain downward, from expectation, from stored maps, from prediction. Sometimes the brain is not simply reading the body, it is generating the version of the body it expects to find. And in some neurological disorders, something even stranger can happen. A limb is present, visible, attached, but the person insists it is not theirs. They may look at their own arm and claim it belongs to someone else. This is not confusion in the ordinary sense. It is a breakdown in body ownership. And once again, the brain reacts the same way. It fills the gap with a story, because the brain hates unexplained contradictions. If mind suddenly fails, some other explanation rushes in. That is one of the strangest lessons in neuroscience. When ownership breaks, the mind does not stay empty for long. Now bring this back to everyday life, because you do not need a rare syndrome to brush against this mechanism. You can feel tiny ownership glitches in ordinary conditions. In dim light, when your hand is only half seen, when you're exhausted and attention is dull, when a limb has fallen asleep and wakes up strangely, during intense stress or dissociation, when the body feels present but slightly far away. These moments are usually brief, but they reveal something important. Embodiment is not passive. The brain has to keep binding you to your body, and most of the time, it does that so well, you never notice the work. So what is the simplest scientific explanation? Your brain maintains a body model, a running model of what counts as you, where your body is, what it should feel like, and what should happen when you move. That model is constantly updated by multisensory integration. Sight, touch, internal signals, movement, all combined, and it is guided by prediction. The brain is always comparing what it expected with what actually arrived. When those match well enough, ownership feels seamless. When they mismatch, you can get strangeness, distance, or disconnection. That does not mean the self disappears. It means the model is under pressure. This is also why tools can begin feeling like extensions of the body. A tennis racket, a cane, a car, a computer cursor. With practice, your action map expands. The edge of self stretches outward, not because the tool becomes flesh, but because the brain starts treating it as part of coordinated action. And virtual reality pushes this even further. Give the brain a believable body, from the right perspective, with the right timing, and it starts adapting surprisingly fast. People can feel relocated, reshaped, even transferred into bodies unlike their own. Again, not because logic failed, because the ownership system followed coherence. And that is why this research matters. It matters for stroke recovery, prosthetics, pain treatment, virtual reality, robotics, and even our understanding of consciousness. Because when you ask, "Why does this hand feel like mine?" you are really asking, "How does the brain decide where I end?" That border feels obvious until it moves. Then suddenly, the most familiar thing in your life, your own body, becomes the most mysterious. So here is the takeaway. Your body feels like yours, not because ownership is simple, but because your brain is extremely good at building a stable model. Fast, quietly, continuously. It uses timing, prediction, body maps, coherence. And when those pieces hold together, you get one of the most seamless experiences in human life. You move, and it feels like you. You reach, and it feels like you. You feel your hand resting in space, and it feels unquestionably yours. But underneath that effortless certainty, there is constant hidden work. So if you ever have a brief moment when a hand feels oddly unfamiliar, or a limb feels distant, or the body seems slightly less inhabited than usual, you do not need a supernatural explanation. What you may be feeling is a small mismatch, a tiny desynchronization, a glimpse of the machinery, and that may be the strangest part of all. Not that ownership can break, but that it normally works so perfectly, you mistake it for something permanent. Next time, we stay with that same idea. The brain does not simply receive reality, it stabilizes it. But next, the glitch moves from the body to sound. Because in noise, in a crowded room, in a half-heard sentence, your brain doesn't only listen. It predicts, it fills in gaps, and sometimes it gives you a word that was never fully there.